Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that your legs do not feel as steady as they used to. The stairs feel a little higher. Getting up from a chair takes a little more effort. Walking across the room feels slower than it once did. For many seniors, this is not a sudden event. It happens quietly, slowly, and then one day it becomes impossible to ignore. Muscle loss does not announce itself with a loud warning. It sneaks in. It weakens the legs first. And once the legs begin to weaken, everything changes. Balance changes. Confidence changes. Independence changes. That is why breakfast is not just breakfast for older adults. It is a daily chance to protect strength, preserve mobility, and keep the body capable of doing what it was designed to do. What most people do not realize is that the first meal of the day can either help stop muscle loss or quietly make it worse. Too many seniors start the morning with tea, coffee, toast, biscuits, or something sweet and light that gives a quick burst of energy, but almost nothing to the muscles. It may feel normal, it may feel easy, but over time, a breakfast with too little protein and too little nourishment can leave the muscles underfed when they need support the most. Your muscles are not just there to make you look strong. They are active tissue. They are living tissue. They need materials every single day to repair, rebuild, and stay functional. And if those materials are missing, the body begins to lose ground. The good news is that this process is not fixed. It can be slowed, it can be supported, in many cases, it can be improved. The morning is one of the best places to begin because after the overnight fast, the body is ready to receive nutrients. Think of breakfast as the first opportunity to remind the muscles that they are still needed, still supported, and still worth investing in. The right morning meal can send a powerful signal to the body. Keep this tissue strong, keep this tissue active, and keep this person moving. That is a message worth sending every single day. Now let us talk about what that breakfast should actually look like. One of the most important nutrients for preserving muscle is protein. That is where the conversation has to begin. Protein is made of amino acids, and amino acids are the building blocks the body uses to repair and maintain muscle. As we age, the body becomes less efficient at using protein. This means seniors often need to be more intentional about getting enough protein, especially in the morning. It is not enough to eat a little something and hope for the best. The body needs a meaningful dose. A breakfast that contains protein gives the muscles the raw materials they need to stay resilient. Eggs are one of the simplest and most effective choices. They are easy to prepare, easy to digest for many people, and rich in high-quality protein. A couple of eggs in the morning can make a real difference when paired with other nourishing foods. Greek yogurt is another excellent option because it gives protein in a convenient form and can be combined with berries, nuts, and seeds for even more benefit. Cottage cheese is also powerful because it is high in protein and can be eaten with fruit or vegetables. Milk, if tolerated, can help too. For those who do not eat animal foods, tofu, beans, lentils, soy milk, nut butters, and seeds can play a strong role in a plant-based breakfast. The point is not to force one perfect food. The point is to make the first meal count, and breakfast should not be treated like a dessert course. Many morning meals are built around refined carbohydrates that digest quickly and leave the body hungry again too soon. White bread, sweet pastries, sugary cereals, and breakfast snacks may taste pleasant, but they do very little for muscle preservation. They can spike blood sugar, then crash it, leaving the person tired, hungry, and still undernourished. Seniors need steadier fuel. They need meals that support energy without putting the body on a roller coaster. Protein combined with fiber and healthy fats is far more helpful than a breakfast built mostly on sugar. One powerful approach is to pair protein with color. That means adding fruits and vegetables whenever possible. Berries are excellent because they bring antioxidants and fiber. Leafy greens, tomatoes, avocados, mushrooms, and peppers can all fit into a morning meal and improve nutrient density without making the meal heavy. A breakfast omelet with spinach and mushrooms. Greek yogurt with berries and walnuts, oatmeal topped with seeds and a spoonful of nut butter, tofu scramble with vegetables. These are not complicated ideas, but they are smart ones. They help create a breakfast that supports not only muscle, but also the blood vessels, the brain, and the immune system. There is another piece to this, and it is often overlooked. The timing of protein matters. Seniors do not need to wait until lunch or dinner to get the nutrients that protect muscle. In fact, spreading protein across the day can be more beneficial than eating most of it in one large evening meal. Breakfast gives the body an early start. It tells the muscles, "We are feeding you now, not later." This matters especially when the overnight fast has already lasted many hours. Without breakfast protein, the morning becomes another long stretch where the muscles receive very little support. Over weeks and months, that matters. Over years, it matters even more. But protein is only part of the story. Muscle function also depends on minerals and vitamins that help the body contract, recover, and maintain strength. Vitamin D is especially important because it plays a role in muscle function and is commonly low in older adults. Calcium also matters, not just for bones, but for the way muscles work. Magnesium helps with muscle relaxation and energy production. Potassium supports fluid balance and normal muscle activity. Omega-3 fats may help reduce inflammation and may support muscle maintenance as part of an overall healthy diet. A good breakfast is not just about one nutrient. It is about building a foundation. That is why foods like yogurt, milk, fortified plant milks, eggs, fish, chia seeds, flaxseed, walnuts, oats, leafy greens, and fruit all deserve attention. They are not magical, they are not miraculous, but they are useful. They are the kind of everyday foods that help create an environment where the body can function better. Seniors do not need extreme diets. They need consistent support. They need habits that are realistic enough to repeat and strong enough to matter. And breakfast is where those habits can become simple and automatic. Let us be honest about something else. Appetite changes with age. Many older adults wake up without much hunger. Some feel nauseous in the morning. Some find large meals unappealing. Some take medications that affect appetite. That is why the best breakfast is often the one that is practical, gentle, and easy to keep up. It does not have to be a large plate of food. It can be small, but it should be meaningful. A boiled egg and yogurt. A smoothie with milk or soy milk, fruit, chia seeds, and protein. A slice of whole grain toast with peanut butter and a side of cottage cheese. A soft scramble with vegetables. Even a modest breakfast can make a real difference if it delivers the right nutrients. This is where many people make a mistake. They think protecting muscle means eating huge portions, but that is not the goal. The goal is quality and consistency. A smaller breakfast with enough protein is far better than a bigger breakfast with almost none. The muscles do not care how fancy the meal looks. They care whether the meal gives them what they need. That is why a plain bowl of Greek yogurt with seeds and fruit can be more valuable than a plate of sugary muffins. The body is not impressed by decoration. It is helped by nourishment. And we cannot talk about muscle loss without talking about movement. Food alone is not the whole answer. Muscles need a reason to stay strong. Gentle resistance exercise, walking, standing up from a chair, climbing stairs, using light weights, or doing simple bodyweight movements can send an important signal to the body that those legs must remain strong. Breakfast and movement work together. Breakfast gives the fuel. Movement gives the reason. When the two are combined, the body has a better chance of preserving strength and function. Even a simple breakfast protein habit becomes more meaningful when paired with regular activity. Seniors often fear becoming weak, but weakness is not something that arrives overnight. It is usually the result of many small days where the body did not get enough support. That is encouraging because it means small daily choices can also work in the opposite direction. Every morning can become a vote for strength. Every healthy breakfast is a message to the muscles that they matter. Every glass of water, every serving of protein, every handful of nuts, every bowl of yogurt, every vegetable added to the plate adds up. The body is always listening. Hydration deserves a special mention here. Many older adults do not drink enough water early in the day. That can lead to fatigue, dizziness, constipation, and a general feeling of weakness. Sometimes what feels like muscle decline is partly dehydration, making the body function worse. So the morning should begin with fluids, not just food. A glass of water on waking is a simple step, but a powerful one. Tea or coffee can be part of the routine, but they should not replace actual hydration and nourishment. The body needs both. And let us not forget chewing and digestion. Seniors may struggle with hard foods, dental issues, or slower digestion. That means breakfast should be both nourishing and manageable. Soft foods are not inferior foods. Oatmeal with seeds and yogurt, scrambled eggs with avocado, smoothies with protein-rich ingredients. These are practical solutions. The best meal is the one a person can actually eat well, digest comfortably, and repeat consistently. There is no prize for making breakfast difficult. The prize is better strength, better energy, and better independence. Aging does not mean surrender. It means adapting. It means understanding that the body has different needs now than it did at 30 or 40. A breakfast that once seemed optional becomes essential. A protein-rich meal that once felt unnecessary becomes protective. This is not about fear. It is about respect. Respect for the body, respect for the years ahead, respect for the simple truth that muscle is one of the greatest gifts a senior can preserve. Muscle supports the joints. Muscle supports balance. Muscle supports getting out of bed, standing up, carrying groceries, and living without constant dependence on others. Strong legs are not just about fitness, they are about freedom. Some seniors ask, how much protein do I really need in the morning? The exact amount can vary depending on body size, appetite, activity level, and health conditions. But the principle remains the same. Breakfast should contain a meaningful protein source. A token amount is not enough. A spoonful of yogurt alone may not be enough. A single cracker with tea is not enough. The body needs enough to make a signal. Think of it as turning on the light for the muscles. You do not need to flood the room, but you do need to flip the switch. There are also certain habits that silently worsen muscle loss. Skipping breakfast regularly can be one of them. Eating too little overall can be another. Relying on processed foods with little protein and little micronutrient value can also create problems. So can long periods of inactivity. So can poor sleep. So can chronic stress. Muscle health is connected to the whole person. This is why the smartest approach is not a single trick, but a set of supportive habits that work together. Sleep well. Move regularly. Eat enough protein. Stay hydrated. Get sunlight, or discuss vitamin D with a healthcare professional if needed. These are not dramatic secrets. They are steady foundations. What is remarkable is that many of these changes are affordable and simple. You do not need an expensive supplement stack to start. You do not need a complicated diet. You need awareness and repetition. A senior who starts the day with eggs and vegetables, or yogurt and seeds, or tofu and fruit, is already making a meaningful investment in future mobility. That investment is powerful because it is repeated. Muscle does not respond to one good breakfast once a month. It responds to many good breakfasts over time. And that is what makes this topic so important. Leg weakness is not just an inconvenience. It is often the first step toward reduced independence. Once walking becomes harder, people move less. Once they move less, muscle declines faster. Once muscle declines faster, balance and confidence fall too. The cycle can become self-reinforcing. But cycles can be broken. The earlier, the better. Breakfast is one of the easiest places to intervene because it happens every day. It is a daily appointment with your own future. Think of the morning meal as a protection plan for the body. A plan that says, keep the legs strong, keep the hips steady, keep the stairs manageable, keep the chair easy to rise from, keep the walk to the kitchen smooth, keep the body ready for life. That is the kind of breakfast older adults deserve. Not a meal that merely fills the stomach. A meal that supports the mission of staying capable. It is also worth saying that there is no single food that can solve everything. Anyone promising a miracle food is overselling the truth. Real health comes from patterns. The pattern matters more than the one-off choice. But within that pattern, breakfast is one of the most powerful opportunities because it happens so often. It is like the first domino. When the first domino falls in the right direction, the rest is easier. A protein-rich breakfast makes better food choices more likely later in the day. It can improve energy. It can reduce snacking on junk. It can support better movement. It can build momentum. That momentum is especially important for seniors who feel they have already fallen behind. Maybe the legs already feel weak. Maybe the body already feels slower. Maybe there has been a fall or a near fall. Maybe there is fear. If that is the case, the message is not despair. The message is action. Small action. Daily action. A better breakfast is one of the cleanest places to begin because it is manageable and immediately useful. It does not require perfection. It requires intention. Now imagine a typical morning transformed. Instead of a weak breakfast that leaves the body tired by mid-morning, there is a plate or bowl that feeds the muscles. Instead of empty calories, there is protein. Instead of rushing through tea and toast, there is nourishment. Instead of hoping the legs hold up, there is daily support for the tissues that make standing, walking, and climbing possible. Over time, this matters. Not because one breakfast changes a life, but because hundreds of breakfasts can. And here is something else important. Older adults should never feel ashamed for needing more thoughtful nutrition. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. Knowing that the body has changed is not a failure. It is mature understanding. Just as a garden needs different care in different seasons, the body needs different care with age. The morning meal is part of that care. It is not punishment. It is maintenance. It is protection. It is respect. So the next time someone asks what seniors should eat in the morning to stop muscle loss in their legs, the answer is not a trendy buzzword or a miracle powder. The answer is a breakfast built on protein, supported by vitamins and minerals, paired with hydration, and repeated consistently. Eggs, yogurt, cottage cheese, milk or fortified alternatives, tofu, beans, nuts, seeds, fruit, vegetables, whole foods that work together. A meal that is not just light enough to tolerate, but strong enough to matter. Because the goal is not merely to live longer. The goal is to live stronger, to stand a little taller, to walk with more confidence, to get up without struggle, to keep the legs working so the rest of life remains open and possible. That is what a good breakfast can protect. And that is why the first meal of the day may be one of the most important tools seniors have in the fight against muscle loss. So start tomorrow morning with intention. Feed the muscles before they ask for help. Support the legs before they weaken further. Choose a breakfast that does more than fill time. Choose one that helps preserve the strength that carries you through the day. Because every morning is a chance to protect your mobility, and every bite can become a message. Stay strong, stay steady, stay independent. If you want, I can also turn this into a more dramatic YouTube voiceover version with stronger pauses, emotional emphasis, and retention hooks for better watch time.